welcome to the Daily Football. Glad you could join us today. We've got plenty to get through. We're going to be looking at Harry Redknapp's comments from yesterday. Do England players cry off international games? We'll also be looking at women in football. Why not more? Why seems to be a complete lack of women in sort of grassroots all the way up to higher management? We'll be looking at tonight's games, including England versus Costa Rica. But first things first, let's get on with the news. Okay, so Roy Hodgson says that England's World Cup knockout has left them in a world of despair and says it may take 6 years to rebuild what's been broken during this World Cup. England play Costa Rica this evening, and Hodgson looks to make 9 changes to the squad that played Uruguay. Meanwhile, yesterday's World Cup games, Spain beat Australia 3-0. The Dutch defeated Chile 2-0. A Neymar double helped Brazil to a 4-1 victory over Cameroon, and Mexico overcame Croatia 3-1. Helena Costa, the highest profile female manager to be put in charge of a men's team, has decided not to take up her role as head coach of Clermont Foot next season. Reasons why have not yet been given. And Man United are close to seeing the signing of Herrera from Atletico Bilbao for an undisclosed fee. That's your news so far. Let's get on with the show. Okay, so Harry Redknapp came out yesterday and said that England players had spoken to him before international games and said they didn't want to play. It's emerged that several players from his time, we're assuming at Spurs, has said to him that there were more pressing matters upon their lives, such as pregnant wives, etc., etc. Steven Gerrard has come back and has said, Harry, name those players, tell me who it was, which obviously Harry Redknapp isn't going to do. Let's just have a little listen to what Harry Redknapp actually had to say.
I'm sure there's plenty of foreign lads in them. At one time, every youth team was probably all more local kids, and not just English kids, but local kids. You know, I grew up at West Ham, and all the kids came from that area. We didn't even have kids from the north of England. Now, there's probably, you know, when you look at the Chelseas and the Man Cities, certainly in the last few years, they've got an awful lot of foreign lads in their team as well. So that is a problem as well. It's given the kids a chance to develop. I still think we go to tournaments under 17, under 19. There's too many pull out. It seems to me under 21s. People have always got an excuse. And Gary, I was at Tottenham, and I'm telling you now, when full internationals came around, 2 or 3 players didn't want to play. They did not want to go and play for England. They'd come to me 10 days before the game and say, Gaffer, get me out of the game. I don't want to play in that game. Get me out of it. You know. And that was how it was. And I said, you play for your country, you should want to play. Nah, my girlfriend's having a baby in 4 weeks. I don't want to play. And that is the truth. And so it makes you wonder, you know, I think it's only going to get worse. They see the stick that the England players get. They come home, they're earning fantastic money at their clubs. They're all playing Champions League now. They think, do we need that aggro?
Shocking stuff, really, if you think about it. My view on it is quite simple. If you are good enough to play and lucky enough to play for your country, no, irregardless of whether you don't want to or you don't fancy it, it should be the highest honour for me to play for your country. There is millions of, you know, men, women, children who would give anything to play for the Three Lions, to play for their team, to give everything on the pitch, to go to some of the best stadiums in the world, to play against the best players in the world, to test yourself at the highest level. So for Harry Redknapp to come out and say that, and say, you know, that people don't want to play for their country and want to be pulled out of that, to me is disgusting. And I would like, I can understand why he won't, but I would love Harry to come out and tell me who those players were. Who do you think they were? Let me know. The information's popping up on the screen throughout the throughout the show. So let me know, who do you think it was? Who do you think the players were who pulled out, who were asked to be pulled out? Obviously, we can look at it and go, is Harry telling the truth? Is he actually saying, or is he just having a pop because of his sort of bitter experiences with the FA, etc.? I can't see any reason why he'd lie about it. I can't see any reason why he'd come out and say these things without having experienced them. Are they well timed, considering everything that's happened? Probably not, but then again, England have been knocked out of the World Cup. There is now an inquiry. I suppose these sort of questions are going to be raised, but I think Harry's got a right to his opinion, and it will be interesting to see if any of the players actually hold their hands up. I obviously doubt that they will, but it'd be very interesting to see if someone went, actually, yeah, I did, and I had a legitimate reason, and this is why I did it, and I'm not happy about that. But yeah, overall, I honestly am flabbergasted by it. Me personally, I love football. I love England. I would give anything just to come on as a sub, just to sort of touch the hallowed turf of Wembley. It would be the greatest honour in my career. So it does shock me, and it is sad, really. And maybe that's sort of the future of the English game. Maybe players don't care anymore. Do you think players care anymore? Do you think that players really want to play for England, or do you think now it's all focused around the Premier League and the Champions League and the big money and the endorsements and all the things that we sort of dislike sometimes about the game, with the money and things like that? Is it now that's where it's gone and that's it, there's no return, or will we ever see a return to English pride? Please feel free to let me know. Okay, women in football. Now, it's come to light that Helena Costa has said that she now doesn't want to be the manager of Clermont Foot in France next season. We don't know the reasons why yet, but it sort of sparked a little thought in my mind when I was reading the news headlines this morning. Why is there seems to be a lack of women sort of in the English game? Why is there not more women at the top level? Is it sexism? Is it that they just can't get an opportunity to go further? Is there more women at sort of grassroots level that are working their way up and we just don't see it because it's on the undercurrent? I'm fascinated to know why. I think it's strange. I think in any sort of obviously we know football, it's a male dominated sport. We have football, we have male football, we have men's football, we have women's football, separate sort of entities in themselves. You get a lot of men going over to the women's game and managing the women's teams, but you don't see the transition coming on the other side. If you worked in an office and two people came in, one was a man, one was a woman, they had the same qualifications, you wouldn't turn one of them down because of their gender. So is there a reason why, is there a glass ceiling for female coaches? Is there an issue there that needs to be raised? It seems to me like there is. I mean, I can't understand it. I honestly think in this day and age, would male players really disrespect a female coach? Would there be that inherent sexism? I mean, there shouldn't be, and I can't fathom why there would be nowadays. I certainly have no issue working for a female, a female boss, as I would never oppose of working for a male boss. So, to me, I don't really understand why it can't happen. And it'd be interesting to know if anyone else has got any feedback on that. Any coaches, any ladies out there who are coaching at the moment, who are trying to break through the ranks in sort of the FA, and are you hitting a brick wall, or is there now more opportunities? Is there things and women just aren't taking them, that they don't, they seem to hit a certain point and don't go any further? Be very interesting to know your views on that. Like I say, the information is popping up throughout the show, so just let me know. We'll discuss more of that through the week. It'd be interesting to get some views and feedback and see what other people think, because I can't really understand it, but maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's maybe there's some sort of conspiracy, or maybe there's maybe just some inherent sexism with the sort of the dinosaurs at the top of the FA. Who knows? Be very interesting to know a little bit more about that. Right, let's move on to the preview for tonight's match. Let's have a look at the Costa Rica-England game. Obviously a dead rubber now completely, and there's nothing to be had for us. Obviously Costa Rica are already through, and they'll want to go through and top the group, I'd imagine, which would be nice for them. I have to say, kudos to them. Massive achievement for that. I think that's going to be, something to be remembered for a long time for them. I think, on me personally, I wouldn't have been able to name many players in the Costa Rican lineup. I could name their assistant manager, Paulo Wanchope. That's about it, really. But I think after this, I think we'll see a few of their players maybe popping up in the Premier League, maybe in the Championship, which I think would be interesting, because they've gone out there sort of with a cavalier attitude. They've gone out there, they've wanted to play their football. They're looking very, exciting to watch, and I think it doesn't necessarily mean that if you've got what would be pursued as a weaker team. They've stuck together as a team, and that seems to be why they've come through so well, which to me is brilliant. I think I'm really pleased for them. I think it's a massive achievement, and if only the England national team could play that way, I think we'd be very happy. So Roy Hodgson's going to make 9 changes to the squad tonight. Let's hear what he had to say yesterday.
All the players, if possible, that have been with us here get some minutes on the field of play. I shall be changing the team. It will be a team which will give people who haven't had much of a chance in the first 2 games to show what they can do. So if you interpret that as planning for the future, I would understand, but basically it's not purely planning for the future, and it's certainly not purely sentiment. It's making certain that a group of players that I personally believe have done everything they possibly could for me and my coaching team to give us some success on the field, get a chance at least to go home from this World Cup far too early, bitterly disappointed, but at least being able to say that I wasn't there just for the ride. I wasn't there to make up the numbers. I actually took part.
And clearly it's the taking part that counts for us at the moment. Actually, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say we're going to snatch this one. The reverse of all the other scores that we've had so far. We're gonna do it 2-1. That's what I think. I think we're going to have a really good game. We're going to try and finish on a high. We're going to try and do the best we possibly can. Looking at the other fixtures today, you've got obviously Italy versus Uruguay. I think that's going to be a very tight affair. I think that's going to be a real, really interesting sort of tactical battle there. And I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw, being very boring and sitting right on the fence there. I think it's going to be a deadlock. I think it's obviously they've both got players there that can make a difference. You've got Balotelli, you've got Suarez, obviously, as we know. So I think that'll be very interesting, but I think it's going to come down to a bit of a tactical one. I think that's going to be a 0-0. You've got Greece versus the Ivory Coast. Interesting one there. I can see Ivory Coast doing quite well in that game. Personally, looking at it, I think that's going to be a 3-1 to Ivory Coast. And then you've got Japan versus Colombia. I think Colombia have been a bit of a dark horse in this so far. I think they've played very, very well. So I think I'm going to go for a 3-0. I think 3-0, that's comfortable. I honestly wouldn't waste any of your money on any of my tips there. That would be a foolish thing to do. But that's what I'm going for this evening. I think it's going to be quite a feast of good football tonight. Unless, obviously, you go with my prediction of Italy-Uruguay, which might be a bit of a boring game. Right, let's head on now to the gossip columns. I think that's the best place to head to now. Right, let's go through. Gossip today. According to reports, Rio Ferdinand is to join QPR, rejoin up with Harry Redknapp, who he played with at West Ham. Angel Di Maria is a target for Manchester United and Arsenal. The New Southampton Post, Ronald Koeman, has increased Luke Shaw's price tag from £10 million to £40 million. Is Luke Shaw worth £40 million, really? I can't fathom that. I know he's a bright talent. I know he's going to be fantastic in the future, but for my money, no, he's not worth £40 million. I think he'll leave anyway. I think he'll probably go to a bigger club. Maybe not this season, but next season. But he certainly won't go for £40 million. Michu, Swansea striker, is on his way to West Ham, apparently, for £6 million. West Ham opening the cheque, but signed a defender earlier on in the week for £7 million. Looks like they're trying to get Michu in for £6 million. Inter will sign Man United winger Nani for £12 million. That's, from what I can see, almost a done deal. And last but not least, Falcao apparently is going to sign for Real Madrid, heading back to Spain, and he will be looking to do that after the World Cup. So that'll be interesting to see him back in Spain. And that's your gossip columns for today. Also, a notable mention for happy birthday, Mr. Lionel Messi. 27 today, it's his birthday. I think the best birthday present for him would probably be to try and win the World Cup, emulate his hero Diego Maradona. I think that'll be. I think he'll be. I suppose he will be celebrating the day. Really, I suppose training and maybe playing FIFA on the Xbox or something with his teammates or something like that. So there you go. There's your gossip columns and your notable mentions. Okay, well that's pretty much all we've got time for today. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Like I say, all the information keeps coming up all the way through the show today. Please get involved. Please tell me what you think. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm talking a load of baloney? Or do you think I am talking the truth? It'll be interesting to know your feedback. Give me some questions. Give me some things to talk about in the next few shows. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the fallout of the Costa Rica game. How did England perform? We'll do the player ratings, and we'll look at some of the press match, post-match even. I'm getting tired now. I need a coffee. Post-match interviews, and also we'll have a quick look at who would you rather have in your team. Who would you like to see playing for your team right now? You know, if your team could sign one player out of all the players in the world, who would you like to see playing for your team next season? Give us an email, give us a tweet, give us a like on the Facebook page. Please share, get it out there, and I look forward to speaking to you and broadcasting for you tomorrow. Have a lovely rest of the day. Goodbye.